Hi.
Hi, Andra. How are you?
Good, good. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. So let's begin. First of all,
Sure.
welcome to the episode 22nd of The Health Show. I'm very grateful to have you here. We've got a lot to learn from you. Let's begin. So first of all, my first question is, Andra, who is Andra? Tell us about yourself. Tell us about the vast experiences that you have. Tell us about your inspiration.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure. Who is Andra? I think that's the question we ask ourselves the whole life, right? Like, who are you? Who? And I ask myself this question many times. But some basic facts about me. I'm a Romanian. I am 25 years old, almost 26. I lived most of my life, most of my childhood in Italy. So I think it made me be a different kind of person living in a different country and then moving back to my home country. I'm a very curious person. I am a vegetarian. I am a person who loves kids. I had different experiences in my life, work-wise. So I studied music. Then I studied architecture in high school, and I thought that that was going to be my work. Then I studied public relations and journalism because I wanted in that direction. Then I studied marketing, so I started to go in this field. And then I found human resources and coaching. So also maybe because I'm a curious person, I don't know, but my path was very like going to all the directions to find a bit of everything. And now I live in London, and I'm based in London, so I'm enjoying a bit of the Londonese weather during the summer.
That is just great. I mean, so you've done your bachelor's in HR, you've done your bachelor's in marketing as well, like two, three, four fields.
No. I done my bachelor degrees only in PR, but I got experience in HR, in public relations, in marketing, and so on. And actually, now this year I'm going to start again psychology. So after 5 years, after I graduated, and everyone says, "Oh, I'm done with university. I'm going to work." I decided that I'm gonna study again because if I want to be in the future more in this part of therapy, coaching, couple counseling, I need to graduate from psychology, not from public relations. So I took the decision to go back to studies, and actually, I'm very happy. I was actually thinking that sometimes we are rushed to decide which university to follow, right? Like maybe it takes you more time, more years to get through different experiences to actually realize what you want to do and follow the path that you really want to follow.
Well, that's just great. Tell us about your Isaac experience. So you were the country head for Isaac in Costa Rica. Tell us about that. What did you learn out of it? What was the whole experience?
So now that I'm out of ISEC from for 1 year already, to be honest, I don't know if an ISECer is listening this, value your ISEC experience. If a non-ISECer is listening this, join ISEC. To be completely honest, I was thinking that my life completely changed because of ISEC. So it's not ISEC, right? Like, oh, like it's not ISEC is a person, but ISEC is a platform that gives you a lot of opportunities. And to me, it gave me personally first um, self-awareness, like I understood my values, I understood what I'm good at, and maybe I would have understood this in my life, but I think in ISEC it was much more faster. It's much more dynamic, and you do it faster, which is one of the big pluses. Second, I got to travel, I got to have a lot of experiences like public speaking, doing sessions. When I was MCVP I was meeting with people from the government, different CEOs, all these kind of cool experiences that not everyone has the opportunity to have. And ISA gives you like the platform. And the third one that is the most important for me are the people that I met. To be honest, when after you leave ISEC, and I know everyone says that you don't remember the numbers, maybe you will, because it's like the idea that I achieved something with my team and so on. But you remember the team, you remember your friends, you remain in contact with the people that were so close to you. And I think, I don't know, 85% of my close friends are from ISEC now, or
Wow.
ex ISECers, which is very interesting, right? But I believe because the values that you share are much more similar, it's easier to have a deeper connection with the person and so on. And professionally, to be honest, I think I know everyone will tell you after you leave ISEC, you will have to start like from a junior position, let's say. And I do believe that this is true most of the times. But what will make the difference is how fast you advance from the moment that you start. And as an ex ISECer, like you learn how to work under pressure, you know how to work in stressing environments, you know a lot of tools, you are strategic. So even though you start as a junior, let's say, don't be afraid, because of your way of working, your work ethics, your way of communicating and everything, it will be very very easy if you trust yourself to advance or to be able to ask for more from your professional life.
That is just so true, Andra. And I believe even my experience of being an Isaac, and I'm still an Isaac. There's little time left though, but it has been life changing, and that's very true because, and not only that, you make friends for a lifetime. Not just in your city, in your country. So all the cities, and then beyond your country. So just like we're talking right now, when I approached you, I knew that you're an Isaacer. So that thing, once an Isaacer, always an Isaacer. I already knew that we're gonna interact and we're gonna communicate, and that's gonna be fun. So this is the beauty of Isaac, that it connects people from, let's say, one end of the world to the another end of the world, and that's just Isaac. That's just the beauty of it, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's very interesting now. For example, when I think about my friends, most of them are not in London. So when we talk about long distance relationships, I'm used to have long distance friendships because I want to keep being friend with them. But it's not that they are here, but in the same time, I don't want to give up on the friendship that I have with them. So it's also a new type of dynamic that I think a lot of ISECers experience afterwards, or even during the time in the organization. Just that after you leave, you don't have ISEC anymore as a topic. So it's not that you talk about the organization, you talk about different things in life, but you still need to keep the connection alive. And when you meet, it's like we never left each other. So the feeling is
Exactly.
the same.
And I feel like that's the beauty of Isaac. So let's move on to my next question, and that is, since Andra, you're an expert in life and relationship coaching, I want to extract maximum value out of this conversation for our listeners right now. So please give us 3 insights for a better relationship. For people to understand relationships better.
This is like the secret formula, right? What you have to do to have a better relationship. So I actually talk with a lot of people, and one of the things that I find the most is this image of perfection that we have in our mind. Maybe it's not called perfection, but it's the image that you have of what the relationship should be like, what your partner should be like, and it translates in we need to talk every single day, in the morning and lunch and in the evening, or we need to see each other at every 2 days, to have a healthy relationship, or my partner needs to be my best friend, my dad, my mom, my lover, the person that reads my mind and so on. So I think my first suggestion, insight, learning is let go of perfection. Like really, and it's very hard. Like it's not easy, right? But every time that you find yourself stuck in criticizing something, or oh, I don't like this, try to think, is this from an image that I have of how the relationship should be or how the other person should be, and see exactly if you really really need that thing to feel happy and in a healthy relationship, or if not. So this is one thing. The second one is This idea, when to separate your partner from the relationship. So these things apply in all the relationships, not only romantic ones, but it's very easy to combine what you want from the relationship or the relationship itself with your partner. And this is why people go, you are bad, you did this, you do that, blah, 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 all these things. But the moment when you separate this and you focus only on the relationship, it's much easier to communicate how you feel in regards to the relationship and not in regards to your partner. So, for example, if uh, if you feel I don't know, you don't have much attention, right? Instead of saying, oh, you never give me attention, right, like this kind of things, you can say, oh, in our relationship, I feel that I'm not receiving enough attention. So the focus is not on blaming the other person, but is rather on showing how you want the relationship to be, so the other person doesn't feel attacked, first of all, and the other person realizes that it's not that I have to change, is that I have to change a behavior or do something for the relationship itself. Okay, so this is one. And the third one that I have, it's very simple. Everyone says it, communicate. Like I
Hmm.
believe
Big one.
communication is so important. Yes. The challenge is that many people don't know how to communicate. It can be very hard to know how to phrase your words and so on. But make sure you communicate, and not only communicate in the sense of talk, like daily talk, but communicate your feelings, communicate your needs, communicate your boundaries, communicate these things about yourself, so you don't get lost in the relationship, or you don't become someone that you don't want to become.
Exactly. Like I feel like this third point, communication, is like the key. It's like the most important thing. It's with everything, with every single relationship that you have, whether it's friends, family, a loved one, a partner, parents. Communication is the key.
Mhm.
Communication is, if everybody needs to put more time into this and understand to do better communication, because if they don't, then that translates into a lot of misunderstandings. That translates into a lot of fights, a lot of things that you don't want, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, and it's very easy to miscommunicate. So this also is in regards to cultures, in regards to age. So all the time, if you have a conflict or you have a misunderstanding with the other person, just take 1 second to see if the way that you communicate is the same. Because in people from different ages, from different generations, they communicate totally different. People from different countries or cultures, they might communicate totally different. If you say, okay, it's fine, we'll see, maybe for you it means, yeah, it's set in stone, and maybe for me, we'll see means that's nothing. It's not set in stone
Exactly.
anything. So it's very important to communicate your who you are as a person, so the other person does not believe that you are the same as them.
Okay, so we have a very interesting question right here, and she's asking, okay, what if somebody doesn't want to communicate? What do you do then? What if the other person doesn't want to communicate?
That's a tough question. It happens a lot in relationships, when one person wants to make the change and the other person is not so willing. What I would recommend is to first do the work on yourself. So all the time. So don't wait for the other person to want to do the work. First, focus on you to be a better communicator, you to feel better, you to know how to express your needs or your boundaries and so on, no matter what the other person is doing or not willing to do, right? And doing this work will give you a lot of insights on how to approach with the other person in a way that makes you feel okay, and also what kind of person you want by your side, right? And then there is a very honest conversation with the other person, like, okay, look, this is the kind of communication that I need from you, okay? That it can be daily communication or communicating about feelings or something. Um, what is the communication that you want, or can you provide, or can you at least meet some of my needs? Like, can we meet in the middle? And this is like an honest conversation to have, and then it's up to you to choose if you are okay being with someone or keeping the relationship the way it is, or if it's not healthy for you, right? So also, like, here, as I just want to clarify, like, not everyone communicates everything through words, right? So for example, some people, they need a lot of words, they talk a lot, they want conversations, about these things, especially about the relationship, let's say. But some people communicate through actions, they communicate through different things. And I don't know if you know the five languages of love. If you know them, you can. If you don't know them, sorry, you can search. It talks about how different people show their love in a different way. So just keep in mind that not everyone communicates in the same way. And it's important to understand if your partner communicates like you, let's say with a lot of words, that this is the most common one, or communicates in another way. And then it's also up to you to see and to understand how they show this love and care.
Exactly, exactly. So, like, just to sum it up, what you just mentioned, and that's a very beautiful insight. That if somebody doesn't wants to communicate, first of all, you have to assess if you have to work on yourself. First of all, you have to see if you have any flaws or if you're doing something wrong. And after fixing that, you have to have the courage to be honest about your opinions and to be honest about communicating the things to the other person and telling that person to come in the middle, to meet in the middle, right? So both of the sides have to do a lot of work for this. And third, you have to recognize what's your communication style. So for me, for example, I'm a very verbal guy. I'm a very, show my emotions a lot. I'm an extrovert. I, openly talk about stuff. I'm a very straightforward guy. But some people aren't. Some people have a, totally non-verbal communication style, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
need to study communication styles. We need to understand not everybody has the same communication style as you, right? So that's also something to, take account of. Thank you so much for that, Andra. My next question is about life. Since you also do life coaching, please give us like three key insights about a better life.
I wish I had the 100 years now to tell you, like what made my life amazing in the past. But I'm a very curious person, so I like to talk with a lot of people, and I find myself asking also older people, like my grandma or older people on the street, different questions. And I in the past months I actually got to think that when we are young we want to achieve everything, right? Like especially in the 20s, we want to have a super cool job, have money, to have cars, family, a house, kids, dogs, whatever, right? There is this super checklist in things that you want to achieve for yourself. It's like I want me to have all these things. And when I was talking with people, it's like older people, they were telling me that many times like they think about what they're leaving to others. They're not thinking what they achieved. Oh yes, in my life I achieved, I got a very beautiful house. No, they're thinking, am I leaving the people around me happy? Did I make an impact in their life? Was I able to provide something to them? And I think it's a very maybe harder mindset to have when you're young, because you want to do things for yourself. But at the end, I all the time think, what are you living for, right? If I would disappear tomorrow, what would remain of me? My computer, my phone, my clothes, or it remain, the impact that I had in other people. That doesn't have to be You don't have to be, Martin Luther King to leave an impact on people. It's also the impact you leave on your parents, family, close friends, close community, and so on. So I think thinking about this can give you a sense of purpose, in life, to do more than just living day by day. The second one, I think it's health. I know this is like super important for me. Maybe we're not aware when we're young, but and when I say health, is not going to the gym every day and eating carbs and proteins and all these things,
It's the mental
but
health as
it's
well.
like it's like getting the muscles and looking fit and everything. But it's also mental health. It's soul health. Is like feeling good with your body, taking the time to sleep if you need to sleep, not needing time, like in the weekend to sleep, because you didn't sleep the whole week, and really prioritize this, right? Like it goes in the little things, like putting sunscreen on the face, eating like fruits and veggies and so on, but also on the longer term things. And I think the third one, to live a happy life, and usually what people value the most is relationships, like people around you. And for me, this is like, for me personally, it's the most important. This is what makes people be happy, and this is what makes people feel depressed and sad. The moment when you have people around you, you have a support system, you feel connected, you are more likely to achieve what you want for you and for the world, and feel happy and grateful and so on. The less you feel this sense of connection or closure with other people, closeness, sorry, with other people, the more you feel alone. And I think this is challenging because we're living in a society where we push for people to be independent, to be on their own. Everyone achieves, wherever they want to achieve. They don't need anyone around. But in my opinion, it's not true. Relationships are very important for you to have a good life.
Exactly, exactly. You just shared a very beautiful insight. I just want to sum it all up. So the first point that you mentioned was the fact that as we grow up, we're all kids. We all dream big. We all want to be the next, fighter pilot. We all want the BMWs. We all want the castles and the monarchs. We all want to travel the world. We all have these big dreams, and that's good. That's okay to have dreams. That's actually good while we're kids because that's what inspires us to be a better version of ourselves. But now here's the thing: when you enter adulthood, that's when you need to realize that okay, it's good to have dreams, but it's okay to also understand that success and happiness doesn't come from these things. Success and
Mm-hmm.
happiness is internal. Happiness is always internal. So the how you need to measure your success is by leaving a lasting legacy, by the amount of lives that you touch along the way, your friends, your family, your immediate circle, your parents, how many people you touch, when you go to your work, when you're studying, those kinds of things. And so I heard this somewhere. There's the statement that success should not be how much money you have or how much buildings or how much real estate you have, whatever those things are. Success should be about how many people show up at your death. So how many lives that you touch, that in translates to when you die, how many people show up and how many people actually remember you, that oh my god, you did such a beautiful thing, you did this, you did that, right? So it's all about leaving a legacy at the end of the day. That is what success should be, and happiness is always internal, just like you said. That's very beautiful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I would I agree with this, but I would also challenge you on this. I think when we think we tend to create the definition of success, and give it to everyone, and this is very dangerous because some people, they don't want a lot of people to show up at their funeral. They're
Exactly.
okay if their only family, their own family, shows up there. And I think that this is for me important when also when I work with people and I talk with people, especially young people, to understand not everyone needs to be a CEO. Not everyone needs to be like like not everyone is we don't need to be like Nelson Mandela, or I don't know,
Exactly.
be the
You do you.
president
I
of
mean,
the United States.
exactly, exactly. Like every one of us needs to do what we love to do. What's our passion? Everybody has different passions. Just like you said, somebody
Yes.
is meant to be a CEO, the other person isn't. The other person is meant to be a worker, right? So it's all different. Our timelines, our destinies are different, and our passions are different. You're so right about that.
Yes, and there are a lot of things when you look at society, a lot of even jobs that people like we don't appreciate or we don't see as successful, right? And I will give you an example. The job as a driver, like delivery driver. Okay, when we think in our society of someone delivering groceries, okay, like we think about someone that has low income, someone that does not have an like education usually, right? This is like the assumption that we have. But who is happy when you get your grocery delivered, right? You are happy and you are thankful for that delivery guy that is doing that job. So it's like we need, I would like us to understand that no matter if someone is doing any kind of job, if it's not illegal, immoral, or whatever, it's a job, and it's success for them. If for them this is it makes them happy, and they like to deliver, I don't know, groceries to people because they see the people happy with their groceries, it's something that we should also see as success, if for them is okay, of course.
Exactly. If the person who's doing deliveries, if he's delivering pizza, and if he or she is happy, they're successful. Like
Yeah,
they've done it. And so we need to. You're so
exactly.
right. If we have this culture of looking at them like there's something down or they're not on the level or not level, then that's very bad. That's the culture that's all over the world right now. You're so right. And we need to see those people at the same level as the other people that we look so high above. Because at the end of the day, if those people are happy, then they've done the job they're meant to be, right? You're
Yes,
so
yes,
right.
exactly.
So, my next question, Andra, is the most exciting question of this show, and that is, Andra, if you had all the time, if you had all the energy, if you had all the money in this world to do anything to keep yourself healthy, what would you do?
Well, you don't need all these things to keep yourself healthy. I
True.
think that's the paradox. But definitely, it would make me happier. I think one of the things that I would be doing is to invest in the relationships that I have. So all the like partner, like family, friends, or even not super close friends or people that I want to meet or strangers and so on. But I would invest time in meeting, connecting with them, um, in money in meeting with them because they're not like all of them close to me and so on, and really feel connected. So this is one of the things that I would definitely try to foster as possible, and I'm sure they would make me happy. And I challenge you to think, when you meet with people, your friends or different kind of people, see what kind of people give you energy and what kind of people take you energy. And if you see that you are meeting most of the times with people that take you energy, like you feel very tired afterwards, I don't know, maybe it's a question for you to think about. But if you meet with people that give you lots of energy and you feel good after meeting with them, then it might be that these people, they are good for you. So make sure that you do something to keep them in your life. So
Exactly.
this
I
is
feel like
one.
Exactly. I feel like at the end of the day, human connection is something that is one of the most important things in our life. So, the number of relationships that you have, the number of empowering relationships, the number of positive relationships, people who support you, people who, cheer you up. I feel like that is one of the most important things, and one of the most things that people often, ignore. I mean, they're focusing on the next big thing. They're focusing on the next salary. They're focusing on the next rank they're gonna get, the next the next car they're gonna get, all those materialistic things, and they often forget the relationships that they have. Since say meaningful relationships, I feel like that is the beauty of life, and that is something that
Mhm.
people ignore. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, my next question, since you're in the health show, it's very important, and that is, how do you keep yourself healthy? Exactly, like how practically do you keep yourself healthy, both physically and mentally, and how can people listening to us right now keep themselves healthy as well?
Okay. So I hope I'm not gonna tell you the basic things that you find on Instagram all the time, but they might be very, very similar because I believe that's the reality, right? So one of the most important things for me, and it's not a promotion to be a vegetarian or vegan or plant-based, but it's the foods that I eat. And it, like they say, your body is your temple, like, and I really challenge
Absolutely.
you to think when you eat, wherever you eat, okay, like feel how think and sense how your body feels. Like after you eat a meal, how is your tummy feeling? How is your skin feeling after a few hours? How is your like skin on the face feeling and everything, or your hair, like longer term. Start to listen to your body because maybe you eat things that you believe that they are good because they taste good and everything, but then you see that it does not do good to your body, and we are not used to listen to it. We are like, eating while we watch Netflix or while we work or while we are standing and waiting the subway or whatever, and we are not used to just eat and then sense, okay, does this good to my body? Do I feel more energetic or do I feel not good at all? Because this might give you signs of what kind of aliments they are good for you or not. So this is one. uh, and also, of course, try to eat healthy. Like I don't eat. I'm a vegetarian. I try to
Oh
limit
wow, that's
the
great. I'm
intake of.
plant-based.
Sorry, you are
That's
plant
great.
based.
I'm
Ah,
plant-based. Yeah.
that's amazing. I'm also trying to limit my intake of cheese. I just it's hard because I like it, but I try to limit it. But indeed, I saw like a big change in the way that like since I eat, it's not about losing weight, but it's about feeling good, feeling healthy, and so on. And not everyone needs to be plant based, but also don't think that being plant based it's bad, like, or you cannot have muscles or you cannot go to the gym, because there is this conception, oh, we need proteins and so on. I would just dare to challenge you to research more about it and see if you can find different ways. And there are a lot of athletes online, like men, women that are vegan, plant-based, vegetarian, and still they can perform in a very good way. So the like alimentation. This is one of the most important. The second one is like exercise, and here I don't mean necessarily like going to the gym, or everyone has their own way. It's just moving the body, like really walking, running, I don't know, just doing things that move your body, because the body needs to move, especially when we eat so much. It needs to move. And for me, it's not a it's not only when I do this, it's not only for my body, but it's also for my mind. When you
Exactly.
exercise, your mind liberates. It's like not so much on the phone, on the screen, or thinking or stressed and so on. You're just like free. It's just like free. And also, of course, the exercises, they do good for you. And the third, like, other things that I do that keep me healthy, one is to have me time. Like, it's super important for me to have time for myself and to know when to take it. Like, for example, when, especially I think in lockdown, if you are with a lot of people, or in general, if you live with a lot of people, it's very important to know when you need your own time, and to be able to say it, and to be able to, like, say to yourself, hey, I need time for myself. It's not about you, that I don't want to stay with you or something. It's just I need some time with myself, listening to music, watching a movie, eating, doesn't matter what, right? Just it's important to have this own time with yourself, doing what you want. And also, someone commented now to stay in touch with positive people. That's also for me very important in my life, to keep myself healthy mentally, is to spend time with people, good people, like people that make me feel happy and make me feel positive. I love a lot eating with people, so sharing food for me, like, in I don't know, I just love, being with people, eating together, sharing and so on. It just leaves me with a very good vibe that afterwards brings me a very good mood, or can bring, like, level up my energy very, very fast. But again, it depends by the quality of the people, right? Making sure that there are people that give you energy, and not people that I don't know, they don't afford to your life.
Exactly, definitely, 100%. Just to like, sum it up all the points. So first of all, I feel like we need to have a pretty good relationship with food. We need to see food as nutrition, as fuel, and not something, which takes us from one emotional state to another emotional state. People, when they're down, they start stress eating, right? That's a very common phenomena. And, just, and even if you're plant based, even if you're vegan, if you're eating vegetables, whatever you're doing, whichever diet that you're doing, doesn't matter. As long as you understand what's healthy for you, as long as you understand the relationship that you have with your food and change it, you have a good relationship with food, Then, just like you said, there's numerous examples of people even on plant-based and vegan diets. Actually, I would argue even performing better than those people who are eating taking too much protein in. Right? We have a lot of examples. And Lewis Hamilton, I would like to cite an example. Lewis Hamilton, the Formula F1 world champion, is vegan. I mean
Mm-hmm.
that's brilliant, and he's just not one example. There's plenty of examples, and I feel like so that's very. It's not something out of the blue in the outside world, but it's something very uncommon. It's something very rare in Pakistan, especially. So when I talk about plant-based diets, when I talk about veganism, when I talked about vegetables and eating healthy, there was a lot of criticism that I got because that nobody has this. Nobody researched, first of all, and secondly, there's no culture of plant-based diets over here. So it was entirely something new for people, and I got a lot of criticism. But at the end of the day, I am happy that I managed to make a couple of people, handful of people, and they changed. They made that shift. They decided to go and eat healthy. They started, going on plant-based diets and experimenting with vegan diets, and they saw a lot of good change in themselves. And I felt happy because something good came out of it. So I was really feeling good about it. And third, just like you said, whatever you do, you have to move your body. You can walk, you can do Zumba classes, you can do CrossFit, you can do weightlifting, you can do whatever you want to do. But you have to make sure that you give your body enough movement so it burns out the calories, it stays you, and it's not mostly about the body, it's about the mind. Because what it does to your mind, the exercise is just amazing because it's the natural way of therapy. I feel like exercise is the most underrated form of therapy, right? So thank you so
Yes.
much for the insights, Andra. My next question is about creativity. So I want to ask, you're a life and relationship coach in UK. You've been the country head for Isaac in Costa Rica. You've done a lot of other work as well. Tell us about this. How do you keep yourself creative, mindful, and in the zone?
Yeah, it's very simple. First, I get off of the computer or the phone or anything. So, most of my ideas all the time they come to me when I'm almost sleeping or when I'm taking a shower or when I'm walking on the street or like this very random moment. And I believe it makes sense because when our mind is free, it means that it's open to welcome new ideas. When our mind is focused on the computer, the like writing or even reading, watching anything, our mind is busy, so we don't open the door for ideas to come. So it's very important to make sure that if you want to get creative, not all the time, but make sure you have spaces where your mind is free, where you take a walk, where you, I don't know, drink your coffee, eat, whatever you do, but you make sure that you free your mind. And the second thing that makes me, where I get my creativity from a lot, is from people. Like I'm a very curious person again, so I like to interact with people. I like to ask questions. I like to listen to people's stories and so on. Even with strangers, like it's so powerful to talk with strangers, and you have no idea how many things you can learn and how many ideas can come to you by discovering someone else's story or seeing a different point of view and so on that challenges maybe your own or brings added value to your own point of view. So definitely these two, taking time off
Definitely.
from the mind and talking with people.
Thank you so much for this. I feel like, just the fact that, this is what I suggest to other people. I suggest, at least take 10 minutes out of your life every single day. Do meditation, do walk, drink your coffee, whatever you do. Just take 10 minutes out and clear your mind and be open to new things. Talk to strangers because talking to strangers is why it's so important. It's because you learn another, a whole new dimension opens in front of you. You learn a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm having a conversation with you. I mean, this is just brilliant. I mean, first of all, we are Isaacers. We connect at another level as well. But just being strangers, if we were in Isaacers, if we were talking right now, I learned, a lot of stuff from you. I learned how do you stay creative? How do you, think about relationships? How do you think about life? How do you think about eating healthy? And these are very fundamental things. I believe these are the things that people often ignore. People
Yes.
are just caught up in a lot of other stuff, and in pursuit of that, they just ignore all of these things. And once the damage is done, only then they do it, and by then, only the regret is left. And so, regret is poison, I feel like. And I feel like, just like this is very powerful. I mean, I just want to emphasize how powerful this is, to talk to strangers and understand their point of view, respect their differences of opinion, and understand how the world works, basically, right? Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Um,
And also, just to point out with that, as you said, it's very important because when we, our close friends usually or people around us, we choose people that are similar to us. So how else will you be able to learn about a new point of view or see a new perspective if you don't meet people that are from outside your circle? Because you never choose to be best friend with someone that has completely different views from you, right? Like you need common things. So that's why it's or it happens, but not that common. So that's why it's important to just be open to learn about the world besides your own little bubble.
Exactly. And I feel this very strongly. I believe in this very strongly. Every single day, if I talk to anybody who I might be, even if it's my friends, people who I don't know, utter strangers, I have this mindset of learning just one thing from them. At least, just one
Hmm.
thing. And
Hmm.
even if I have like a 5-minute conversation, I would just learn one thing about that person. Maybe he had a good body language. Maybe that person was really polite. Maybe that
Hmm.
person's smile was attractive. Maybe that person, talked about something that really mattered. Maybe that
Hmm.
person pointed my thoughts into, a good direction. So I feel like this is very important. Just having the right
Yeah.
mindset is entirely important. Thank you.
True,
My
true.
next question,
I will do
Andra.
that from now on. So when I will
Perfect.
talk with people, I will think about what is one thing that I'm learning from everyone. Thank you.
You're welcome. And once you do it over the years, over the course of a long time, you learn millions of things, because just one
Yes.
things, they start adding up. It's beautiful. So my next question is a question that's, sometimes it puts my guests into existential crisis. And that is, Andrea, what has been your life's biggest failure, and what did you learn out of it?
I think if I when I was in ISEC, or if I would have been still in that period, I would have said about all the roles I did not get. So every role I was not getting was like a personal failure of I think I was not good enough. That was the feeling that I was having. Um, but in time, I think I'm learning that most of like the biggest failures are I think the moments when I'm not true to myself. The more I grow, the more I realize that not getting a job or not getting something that you want, is not as a deep failure as it is not being true to yourself, having some values and not following them, or wanting to be disciplined and achieve something and not waking up in the morning. Like it's for me now, it's much more of a failure to want to do something and for example, oh, I had this, like, I think since a long time, I want to go to the gym, I want to like be stronger and so on. And at the beginning, I was not waking up in the morning at all, like to go to the gym. Or it was very, very, very hard for me to be committed, consistently to go to the gym. It took me months. Now it's better to the point that I even exercise at home. But in the beginning, I was feeling literally like a failure. Like I was, oh my God, I'm not even able, to stick to my own like wishes and desire, not someone else. And I think for me this is like the biggest failure right now. Like when I set to myself something, that I want to do something, I want to act in a way, I want to be in a certain way, and I don't stick to it, because then it goes to my core and it goes like, why you are not able. Like it's not about the others, it's not about what the society wants you to do, it's about what you want to do, and you are not making yourself capable to get that thing or to do that thing which is much more powerful. So what I'm learning and what I learned in the past even in my failures in ISEC, of not getting, I think I didn't get a lot of roles, like in general. But it was a lot about the fact that it's not about the others, my competition, or the organization, or the role. It was about me. And it was about what I wanted to achieve, something that I wanted myself to be, and I was not able to put myself to get it, or to put myself to be my best version of myself. And what I learned is that instead of focusing on the end result, focus on how I can be better every single day. There is no point on thinking, even if you apply for, now if there are people from ISEC watching, if you apply for roles, you're first think like a winner, okay? But even if you think like a winner, don't focus too much on getting that thing. Focus on how you
The
can be the
journey.
best version of yourself every single day. How can you be the best version of yourself during that day of election? So, because then this for me, it's much more powerful and important than getting it or not. And I have applied like, and I wanted things in my life that thank God I did not receive them. And when I tried to be someone that I was not, like just to get something, and it was after I didn't get it, like I actually asked myself, how would it be to get something when you faked who you are or your core
Mhm.
self? Then you will have to fake it all the time, right? So from that moment, I was, at least if I get something, I will get it the way I am. If I will get something, I will get it because this is who I am and I deserve this, not because I had to change who I am to get something.
Exactly. That this has been a very deep and meaningful insight. Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like everyone needs to internalize this fact that you need to be in love with the process. You need to be in the process of journey of being better every single day, doing those small things consistently every single day, and not just always thinking about the end goal, not always being laid down. Okay, oh my god, the goal is so far away, I have to reach there, I'm not reaching there, and start thinking about it, getting anxiety, getting depressed, all of those things. Thank you so much for that. My next question is about self-awareness. So, you have obviously a lot of experience in dealing with people, and with couples and with people in, having life problems and relationship problems. How can people be more self-aware, in your opinion?
Okay. Um, I, I think it's very hard first to be self-aware in different aspects. There are different levels of self-awareness. The superficial one, where it's like things that do not affect you, right? Or when you receive a feedback about I don't know, things that are very superficial, and you're okay, cool, I will change it, or okay, thank you for letting me know. But then is the self-awareness of deeper things, such as who you are at your core, things that hurt you, maybe past traumas that you have and you are triggered by them, and so on. And I think one of the first things that you can do is to accept that you are not perfect, and to let go of the image of who you need to be or who you should be. And this is created a lot from the past, like, oh, you should be the good kid that gets to this university, that gets this grade, you should get married, you should have, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you should have kids, all these things that are right there in society. And many times they come, we have them because of our family or our context in the past, right? And we believe that if I want to be good, this is who I have to be, right? So first is letting go of this concept that I have to be in a certain way to be good as a
To
human
be
being.
acceptable by the
And
society.
sorry.
To be acceptable by the society, right?
Yes, exactly. Like to really start to see exactly what are the things that others want you to be, and what, or society, and what are the things that you really want to be. Like this part of understanding who you are, and be honest. This is super important. Like, and it's very contradictory, because imagine you lived all your life maybe believing that you are good if you are in a certain way, And then because you talk with people or you discover new things, you realize that actually you don't want to be in that way, you want to be in another way. But the process of accepting this is the hardest. Like this is takes a lot of inner work to be honest with yourself and accept that, okay, this is what I want, and maybe I'm different from what I thought that I am. And the third one is to be open. Be open to what other people say, like and be open to what you find about yourself, right? So for example, when you read a book, think about how you do in these regards. If someone tells you, like gives you a feedback or tells you, for example, oh, you hurt me, instead of saying no, it's not true, or oh, I'm sorry, let's move on, try to see how did I hurt you, what kind of
Hmm.
behavior. I all the time call them like the curiosity glasses. Like put your curiosity glasses and try to see how other people see you, right? What are the behaviors, what are the things that they see in you, both good and both like bad, let's say, that could be improved, because this will give you a broader perspective of how you are in the world, and not only who you think you are as an individual. So this would be the one that I'm thinking right now.
Wow, this is just very meaningful, and I feel like if people internalize this one thing, they're gonna be off to the races because self-awareness is the most crucial thing. It's not about what the society wants from you. It's not about what the friends think of you. It's not about what the university people want from you. It's not about what your parents want from you. Even it's about what is your own passion, what you're meant for. What's that one thing that wants to makes you wake up every day on time. What's that one thing that wants to makes you be awake late nights, and be working on
Yes.
that? What's that one thing that really puts you into fire and really going after it? I feel like that's one of the most important things about self-awareness. And that happens when you spend a lot of time in isolation and you start questioning yourself, you start questioning your life, you start questioning why you do certain things. Why are you
Yeah.
doing stuff that people want you to do, right? And once you
Yeah.
understand the why, then you go towards the how and the what, right? And that is how it happens.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Um, so my next thing is about, I want to talk about mental health. Now, I believe it's not given the due attention it requires. I believe people, whenever they talk about it, they talk about the problem itself. They don't talk about the answers. They don't talk about the solution. They don't talk about
Hmm.
the practical approach of, handling mental health issues. Because let's be very honest, all of us, every single one of us, we go through mental health issues in our life, throughout our life, right? Multiple times. And some people go into denial, some people ignore it, some people just don't have the courage, some people don't even understand that it's a mental health issue. So I want to ask you, you being an expert in helping people be a better version of themselves, what's your take into mental health?
Hmm. That's a very good topic, dear to me. So I'm gonna tell you like an anecdote since I was in ISEC. When I was president of ISEC in Costa Rica, we had a member that simply said one day, "I cannot go on anymore. I have mental health problems." Like he was basically burned out, or she, I don't remember. Like the person was basically burned out, and I remember that my first thought at that moment, I was, oh my god, when I was at this stage in ISA, there was no mental health anything, it was called commitment, work your ass off, and so on. And here
Exactly.
I'm not stating that the person was lying or anything. I just realized how much the conversation changed over time, right? And how something that I was seeing as a commitment and like hard work, never give up and so on, can be seen now after many years as a, I don't know, the burnout is immediately attached to mental health and so on, which is not bad. It is good, right? It's good that people are more aware of how they feel, and they are able to see from before how, like, they're more self-aware, right, of something that is maybe affecting their well-being. My question goes in how to take care of your mental health without having it as a, not as an excuse, but as something that stops you from achieving the things that you want, right? Because it should be like a balance. And I think there are different layers of mental health. Like there are things, okay, when you feel overburdened, like burnout, sorry, do you have a mental health problem or you feel burned out? Because this is like, it's still connected, but then your solution should be how to take a holiday, like sleep a little bit more. You feel that you are affected by people around you that are not good for you, get rid of them. You know, like there are different solutions for everything, and it's very different to have things like this and having a mental health problem where you really have anxiety attacks, where you really maybe get into depression, you know. And I always recommend for the part where you really feel that your body and your mind is not cooperating anymore with you, and you don't know, like, it's affecting all the aspects of your life, to look for a professional to help you. Look for a therapist. You know, go and see exactly why your mind is anxious, from where this anxiety comes from. Because many times there are a lot of things that, you know, we have so many traumas in the past. Some people have more traumatic events. There is a post-traumatic stress syndrome. Like there is actually like a reason why people feel anxious or get into depression and so on. And looking for a specialist, I think it's very useful and worth it, you know, for your own mental health, and not thinking that you are alone, but actually having someone that is there to help you through the process. So just to separate them, like if the problems that you have require a specialist, you feel that you really need someone to tell you, to make you understand why you feel like this, you know, what is happening, and maybe, you know, you have some traumas in the past, and you know, things that are affecting, go to a specialist. There is no shame in it, really. Like this is why people are there for, to help you. But if you feel that your mental health that is affected is more related to boundaries, work environment, you know, things that actually make you not live good on a daily basis, but still you know what it is, or you are like you have an idea of what needs to be done, then it's just your time to take a decision and say, okay, I need a break from work, I need a break from these people, because I need to say no, I need some time to myself, and really do that. And usually it might be easier, you know, it gets a bit better in time. But do it consistently, not only one time. Consistently, like make sure you feel good, then you set your boundaries and so on.
Exactly.
What do you
Thank you
think?
so
You
much
agree?
for this wonderful insight, Andra. I feel like this conversation that we just had, the whole hour. Unfortunately, we've reached our 1 hour limit that Instagram has. I would love to ask you way more questions about this because we've been having such valuable conversation. I feel like if people listen to this episode, they're gonna extract a lot of value out of it. Just like Maya said, a trauma, abuse, family history, genes are major factors that can contribute to mental health problems. Yes, exactly. Exactly, definitely. So the thing is that although I would like to go on and on about this, I feel like if people watch this full episode, they're gonna get maximum value in regards to life, relationship problems, self-awareness, big one, mental health, physical health, diet and nutrition. I feel like so here's the thing. So when I ask these questions, so I know that a certain guest, answered question number 2 or 5 or 6 brilliantly, but question number 1 or 3 were not so good. But to be very honest with you, all the questions I just asked were amazing. They were so insightful. I feel like every single question